Apologies, guys. Trying to go live on Facebook over here. Here we go. There we are. All right. We are good to go. We are live on Facebook. Well, welcome everybody to Blue Star Webinars. I'm Liz Jones, the Community Solutions Operations Manager. And today we actually have a really awesome webinar from the FINRA Military Spouse Fellowship Foundation. They're, sorry, I don't want to mess this up. AFCPE, so it's a mouthful of letters, has gathered this wonderful panel to have a discussion about, to have a discussion about the military spouse fellowship that they have. So I want to start with some introductions. Andy Wren, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, I am Andy Wren. I currently live just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. I was a military spouse for many years. I am now a widow of an Air Force service member, and I really enjoy helping people through my career. I manage a network of financial professionals that work with service members.
Thanks, Andy. Charlotte, we have Charlotte Lingard Young.
Yes, hi, I'm Charlotte Lingard Young. I'm also a military spouse. I'm also a former officer as well. I live in the Jacksonville, Florida area, and I currently work with military members and their families doing financial counseling, as well as my own business doing transcription.
Thanks, Charlotte. And Trey Spencer.
Hi, I'm Trey Spencer. I'm also a military spouse and a stay-at-home dad, and I'm currently in the AFC program, kind of in the middle of it. So.
Great. And then from AFCPE, we have Michelle Starkey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Starkey, the Certification Program Director at AFCPE, and I help folks through the process of becoming AFC certified.
And Heather Baker.
Hi, I'm Heather Baker. I live at Fort Hood, Texas, and I am the FINRA Foundation Military Spouse Program Assistant, and I'm a proud alumni of the first class that we ran of this program.
Great. And Sheena.
Hi, I'm Sheena Parrish, the Special Programs Manager with AFCPE and also a military spouse.
And last but not least, Shay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shay Cook. I'm the FINRA Investor Education Foundation Financial Readiness Manager, also a military spouse and military spouse fellow of class of 2007.
Thanks. I just wanted to go over something real fast. If you have questions for our panelists during the webinar and you're joining us via Zoom, you can ask them using the question and answer box or the chat feature. If you're joining us via Facebook Live and have questions, you can drop them in the comments and we'll bring them forward to the panelists. So I wanted to start with Michelle. So she's going to give us an overview of the program.
So the AFC, the Accredited Financial Counselor program, is designed to be a self-study, web-based program. We do offer some instructor-led webinar review sessions to help support through the program, but that program will teach you how to become a financial counseling professional. It'll teach you everything from basic budgeting all the way through investments and insurance. We use 3 texts and an online course to help get you through the material. And then that's a 3-hour proctored exam is required in order to earn the certification. Currently 165 questions offered on a rolling basis at testing centers that are available nationwide. And then there's an experiential requirement as well. 1,000 hours of experience are required in order to become certified. And you can earn those experience hours while you're working through the program. We allow 3 years to complete.
Thanks, Michelle. So Shay, you work for the FINRA Investor Education Foundation, who funds the fellowship. And you are a FINRA fellow yourself. How did this program come to be?
Yeah, so the program was created in 2006 to offer military spouses the opportunity to earn a career-enhancing credential. So that's the Accredited Financial Counselor, also known as AFC designation, while providing financial counseling and education to the military community. The fellowship covers the costs associated with completing the AFC's training and testing.
All right. Michelle, could you share with us the role of AFCPE and how they play into the fellowship program?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been part of the program since the beginning, and we are the certifying body. So we're the educators. We're the ones that are helping folks actually complete the requirements to become certified. We help them through the program in a lot of different capacities, helping them find those opportunities to gain the experience, helping them prepare to sit for the exam. And then once they're certified, we gather them together so that they can remain a good, strong force, a good, strong network of military spouses who can support each other in the work that they're doing. We also require that they maintain their credential by doing continuing education. So we offer a lot of opportunities for them to continue to do the work and continue to maintain the level of knowledge that they need in order to be excellent financial counseling professionals.
Thanks. Andy, this question is for you. Personal finance education and counseling have always been a part of your professional life. How did completing your AFC in 2008 as a FINRA fellow take your personal finance and counseling skills to the next level?
So as long as I can remember, I've loved math and finances. So my grandpa talked to me about money management the whole time I was growing up. And I really enjoyed the management of our family finances and my business. And then later I worked with military families in our squadron at the Air Force Base. And while the service member was deployed, I would help the military spouse that was at home pay off their debts and save money so that when they got back, they were ready to do what they wanted to with their finances and be in a better shape than before they left. And then by obtaining the fellowship and certification, it allowed me to have paid employment everywhere that we've been stationed over the last 12 years. And that was, a fantastic thing. And having that portable career has been a game changer for our family. And I've been able to help so many other military families along the way as well.
Thanks. Trey, you have a professional background in education and in law, and you're also a military spouse. And we all know that military spouses all have their own unique journey. What drew you to apply for the FINRA fellowship?
Sure. So I had been working as a lawyer, and I took some time off to take care of my little girls. And in the middle of that process, our family went through a personal tragedy. And then we also PCS'd kind of at the same time. And it was one of those times where having an emergency fund and having done some work on our finances was really key in moving through that period. So it inspired me with kind of an interest in helping other people with that. And I started volunteering here at Fort Sill in Oklahoma with ACS, just kind of helping, and was told, hey, there's this program if you're interested. So then that's how I heard about it and applied.
Thanks. Excuse me, sorry. All right. Since the program began in 2006, fellows have pursued a variety of career paths. Charlotte, you've used your AFC in your personal work and your work as a business owner. Can you tell me how the AFC has enhanced your work?
Yeah, sure. I started my business in 2004 after a military move to Colorado Springs, and actually through another program that the military offered, training military spouses to have virtual careers. And when this program became available, I saw that as a way to enhance what I was already doing. So I applied for the fellowship, got it, did my hours, got certified, and was able to add it to what I was currently doing. I didn't have to stop doing my other business. It was in addition to what I was doing. So I immediately went to work for one of the Department of Defense contractors who had one of the contracts at the time. And I would just work on an as-needed basis, doing events for them, or if they needed someone in the area for a 2-week period, I would do that. So it worked in conjunction with what I was already doing. So it enhanced what my business.
Great, thank you. One of the things that I think is so great about this opportunity is its flexible format. It's a self-study program, so you could essentially do it from anywhere and in conjunction with other things. Shay, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's right. I started again in 2007. We were required to study using only the textbooks, but now they have the webinars too. So at the time I was moving from Turkey to Maryland. We were transitioning out of the Air Force. We had to find a home, a house, school for our daughter, but I was still able to complete my studies during a very busy time of transition. Military spouses as well are moving, transitioning in and out of the military, have young or older kids, etc. So this program allows you to study wherever and whenever.
Thanks. Trey, you are the most recent fellow to have gone through the AFC program in this group today. Do you have any tips or tricks to share with us?
I don't know if I have any useful tips. I thought that the online program was real helpful, especially the quizzes in terms of preparing for the test. And sort of like what Shay was talking about, we move all the time, I think 5 times in 7 years. So having the online access, and especially with little kids, it's very flexible and easy to do. And then the only other thing I was going to say is that a lot of the substantive things I found them very helpful in the work I had already been doing, whether it's evaluating jobs in different cities, car buying, house buying. The curriculum has been really helpful to me.
Thank you for sharing that. Speaking of experiences, to earn the AFC, each fellow must get a certain number of hours of financial counseling experience. How did you find opportunities to earn the experience hours, Andy?
So I walked into the military installations that were nearby, and I first started helping with Army Community Service. And then after a few months, I started working with Airmen and Family Readiness Center at another installation. I did 2 days a week at each base, and primarily one-on-one counseling with the people at one installation, and the other installation I did a lot of briefings and presentations. And so it gave me a wide variety of experiences, and I got to learn about different branch of services and things like that. I have helped many people over the last 12 years try to find places to obtain their hours for certification. That's one of the things I really help people think about what they can do in their community and the installations that they might be stationed. Things like working with youth in junior achievement and other programs, junior ROTC, Scouts, Goodwill, Salvation Army, food pantries, or community programs that may have financial literacy programs. Those are really good things to connect to. There's so many ways that people can earn hours. You just need to dig in and find out what is nearby, be creative, and be able to sell yourself and your ability to help other people.
Thanks, Andy. That's great advice. Charlotte, what about you? What sorts of activities did you do to acquire your experience hours?
Yeah, like Shay said, I was one of the in one of the earlier groups, the 2008 class, and then we were doing it all by book. And it was going to take me some time. I was doing webinars because that's what was readily available for me to do. But then I received a call from Schriever Air Force Base, the Airmen and Family Readiness Center, and they had sought me out, had heard about the program, and knew that I was in the program, and told me that they were allowing internships. So I did an internship over at Schriever Air Force Base in their Airmen and Family Readiness Center. In that role, I did one-on-one counseling, group counseling. We did career fairs on various topics, and I was able to earn the remainder of my hours with Schriever. And it chopped off quite a bit of time, because the rate I was going, it was going to take me 3 years to do it. But I was able to finish, I think, in a little over a year to get all my hours.
Great.
Yeah.
Heather, it sounds like there's a variety of ways a fellow can earn experience hours. What are other types of opportunities have past fellows used to pursue their hours?
I think the idea is to be creative. We do have a criteria, and we do have some guidelines that you need to follow. But we also, again, allow flexibility, and we allow for opportunities that you might engage in anyway. I like to use the example of a fellow a few years ago. Her son was participating in Boy Scouts, and Boy Scouts of America now offers a financial literacy badge. She was asked if she would help them. So in the course of preparing for that and participating in her son's scout circle, she was able to fulfill almost 70 hours of her experience hours. She was able to make some connections, and she even offered some additional information and opportunities for some of the parents that had attended. So it was something she was going to do anyway, and she got to, it wasn't exclusive or outside of her normal lifestyle. And so she was able to just incorporate that. So again, I would say, reflecting on what Andy said, the most important thing is just to be creative.
Military spouses can definitely be creative. That's for sure. Tell me more about what AFC actually does, Trey, and how do you use those skills you've learned in the programs to acquire experience hours in your military community?
Sure. First off, I volunteer at Army Community Service as well, doing one-on-one counseling. And I think a lot of the stuff I've learned in the program has just helped me do better at that, to be honest. I also volunteer in legal assistance and with the tax center. And I found that, especially when people are doing their taxes, last year before the program, I felt comfortable it often leads into other areas, but I feel more equipped to kind of work with people and talk to them about all the other issues that come up when people are, dealing with their taxes and stuff like that. So those are the major areas, I guess, where I've been able to use the stuff from the program.
Thanks. We all know military spouses are mobile and sometimes must reinvent themselves career-wise as they move from place to place. What does AFC create? How does the AFC create employment opportunities, Charlotte?
When I first started out in the program, like I said, I immediately went to work for DOD, and because it appeared that they had most of the opportunities there. But since that time, I think AFCPE has done a great job of marketing the AFC certification. So now I see opportunities in banking, doing financial counseling in colleges, in financial aid offices, in nonprofit organization, doing bankruptcy counseling, which I did for a while with an organization as well. So it has opened doors to other organizations, both private and nonprofit, and colleges, for you to do credit counseling, housing counseling, one-to-one group, buying a car. So it's, I think AFCPE did a great job marketing the AFC. And they also provide opportunities on their website. So you can go on the website and find a job. They're working with other organizations, helping AFCs find employment as well.
Thank you. Heather, once you earn the AFC, do you have to do anything to maintain the designation?
Absolutely, Liz. Just like other professional designations and certifications, we have requirements after you've earned it, including 30 hours every 2 years of continuing education units. We all know that financial counseling and education isn't static. Tax laws, entitlements, benefits, they change constantly. We as counselors and educators need to be as up to date as possible with these changes. So requiring this continuing education component is actually a source of pride, as it reinforces the certification. And it also gives those that we serve confidence, especially where people are wary of scammers or wary of bad information. They know that we are current and that we are competent.
Thank you. Shay, military spouses have been going through this program since 2006. There must be quite a network of fellows by now. Do they stay connected or engaged even after they become certified?
They sure do, Liz. Over 600 graduates of the FINRA Foundation Military Spouse Fellowship Program we have right now, and they stay connected in many different ways, including meeting up at least once a year at the AFCPE Symposium. They also stay connected with each other within their states and the regions, and then many different opportunities that they have. And they also become mentors to prospective fellows.
Thanks. Andy, you've described yourself as a mentor to other fellows, so you can probably attest to the special network that military spouses have created by the fellowship. How is this network and the AFC designation beneficial for FINRA fellows?
So the network of FINRA fellows who are military spouses is one of the best communities to be part of. We support each other. Over the years, the group of professionals have grown. You can ask questions and get answers with different perspectives that will help you grow as a professional as well in some of our groups. And then people come into the program with a variety of backgrounds. That's what's really unique. Like Trey, has a degree in education and law. I have a counseling and education degree as well. And so everybody comes in with different perspectives, and that really helps people when they're in a community like this that are there to support, other professionals. And there are programs that once a spouse has the AFC are there to support military families around the globe. Whether you're working in a government position or as a contractor, someone with a passion for personal finance and helping service members can have a long career doing this great work. So it is very rewarding work, and it helps with military spouse portable careers.
Thanks, Andy. That's super important, especially to this community, the portable career that moves with you when you have to move. Trey, Charlotte, and Andy, you guys are the fellows. You've each used the AFC designation to help military members and their families improve financial readiness. Can you explain your professional why? And we'll start with Trey.
Sure. I think for me, it goes back to some of that experience my family had where having our finances together was one of the few things we could control that helped that experience. And I think with military life, there's so much uncertainty and so much moving. There's a lot of different things that I think kind of achieving financial excellence in your personal affairs can really improve your quality of life. And I guess for me in my volunteering, I've seen so many people just react very positively to improving those aspects of their life. So that's where I got into it, and that's what motivates me for sure. And I would just tack on, there's a great Facebook group that I think Andy runs that's awesome, and everybody in the fellowship has been really welcoming and kind to me as well, including most of the people on the screen. So I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy. What about you, Charlotte?
For me, I think one of the challenges I face is a lot of people haven't been taught how to manage money. And I know I've got a master's degree, and through high school and college, no one ever taught me how to manage a bank account, or it's just not taught in schools. They are doing better now. I mean, my son's high school had a program, a relationship with one of the credit unions, and they're teaching it now, or at least they're beginning to. But for our age groups, it was never taught. So people make mistakes. A lot of us have learned finances from the School of Hard Knocks. We've been knocked down, and we're learning how to do it. And it's talking about finances is not something that's comfortable for anyone to talk about, especially if it's negative. So teaching people how to manage their money, how to come back from a setback, and letting them feel comfortable talking about it is what I strive to do in my relationships with the people that I work with.
Thanks. Andy?
So one of the things that is so important to helping service members is to have their money working for them, so that when they're on a mission, they aren't distracted by the stresses related to money. And they can really focus on the mission at hand and not have to worry about their family at home. And that's, I think, one of the things that I really love about the work that I do, and the people that I supervise. I know that they're out there doing the best they can to help service members learn as much as they can about their own personal finances and how to make it work better for them.
Thanks, Andy. So I think the big question is how does the fellowship application process work? And Michelle, can you help answer that? And where can our listeners go if they want more information?
Absolutely. On our website, of course, afcpe.org, and we'll put that link out there. There's a banner at the top of the homepage that's got a link right to the appropriate page. We've got a lot of information out there for you, a lot of frequently asked questions, all the details that I know you're hungry for. Anything that we didn't cover on the webinar today, I'm sure will be covered in great length there. There's a great section we've created that goes through some tips for preparing to submit your applications. I encourage you to read through that if you're interested in submitting. There's a lot of good info out there. And then when you're ready, obviously you'll click to apply, and that button will direct you or redirect you to our application site. That's where you'll actually create a profile and you'll submit your application.
Thank you, Michelle. So we did have some questions that came in through the webinar chat, and I see that a lot of them had gotten answered. I wanted to pick out some that that kind of can be useful to the whole group, especially if you're just watching this on Facebook Live and you don't have access to this. One of the questions that kind of stood out to me was about hours. How many hours do you need to become certified?
So that's going to range. We are going to assign your hours based on your experience coming into the program. So you'll either be assigned 400 hours if you've got a lot of experience, 700 hours if you have a little bit of experience, or 1,000 hours if you don't have any experience. Trey, how many hours were you assigned?
400.
So Trey came in with a lot of experience. So he got 400 hours. And that, again, you have the full 3 years to complete those hours.
Okay. And then another question was, do the hours need to be volunteering activities or can they be paid as well?
Who wants to take that? One of my fellows, I'm sure, got paid while they were earning their experience.
Well, one of them, yeah, I was like, one of them helped somebody get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. You can do volunteer work or you can do paid programs. A lot of the people that I've mentored over the years have done paid programs. I had somebody once that I was mentoring, and she was working at a bank, and I said, and she wasn't reporting any hours. And I said, what do you do at work? And she described what she did. And I went, all of that should count for your hours. You need to start reporting your hours. And so she was really excited about that. And so then she got to work with her management at the bank to make sure she did as much of that kind of work that she could with people. So there are great programs out there, lots of ways to think outside the box that you can have paid program. And also, unfortunately, the fellow program doesn't have a paid internship anymore. That happened for a couple of years and it was fantastic. So a lot of people do get volunteer hours on the installation. People work with the aid societies like Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. They do have paid positions and then they have volunteer positions. So those are really good places that people get experience as well.
Thanks. So, excuse me. I kind of have a question here, and it's addressing the elephant in the room. And Michelle, you probably can help with this question. With the current COVID-19 situation delay, will that delay finding out about the application in June? Have you been accepted?
Well, there's a possibility. I think there's a lot of possibilities happening in the world right now, a lot of uncertainty. At this particular moment, I would say we don't have the usual number of applicants that we normally have for this program. And I think that's probably because everyone's distracted. So there's a possibility that we'll extend the application period a little bit further to get the volume of folks through that we want to make sure that we've got a good applicant pool. Mm-hmm. But of course, we'll be communicating with everybody who has applied, everybody who signed up for the interest list that we have on the website. We'll be keeping all of our announcements up to date up there.
What is your cutoff for applications? How many people?
Well, we don't have an official minimum number, but we have kind of historical numbers that we're looking for.
Okay, perfect.
And the application period is open right now through April 17th. And again, if we extend that, we will certainly announce that out there for everyone.
All right. Well, I wanted to thank you all for being panelists. If we didn't get to your question, you can go ahead and email me at ljones@bluestarfam.org, and I'll make sure I farm it out to the correct person that can help. That's it, guys. Do you have anything you want to add?
I just would like to add, just to encourage people that are listening today, or that see our talk. I would encourage you to apply. If you're questioning, if you're on the fence, just put your name in the hat and see how it shakes out. If you're at all interested, if you have a passion for this, we just encourage you to go to afcpe.org and apply and see what happens. You never know. There is a need for qualified financial professionals. And I think we're seeing that especially right now with, Liz, what you brought up about COVID-19. It affects all of our lives in different ways, but it's affecting a lot of people from a financial perspective. Yesterday was the 1st of April. Mortgages were due, rent, became due. People have expenses and they need people to guide them through these tough times. In fact, we actually, AFCPE just recently received a donation from Wells Fargo Foundation to get AFC professionals providing virtual financial counseling for people during these tough times. So just want to encourage everyone to apply if you're interested, and become a part of the solution and helping people navigate the challenging financial times that they might be going through.
Thanks, Sheena. I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the comments. It'll also be in the description if you're going to catch this later on YouTube. And that's it. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Liz.
Have
Thank
a great
you.
Have a good day,
Thank
everybody.
you.